Hey everybody, so sorry for the lack of updates over the last week. I've got a ton of video editing I need to do to be able to get everything uploaded. I've just been inundated with things to do. Now before we get into the information that's just come to light today and the whole purpose of this video, if you are new to the channel or even if you're not, please do hit either the thumbs up or thumbs down. YouTube are really pushing for engagement and interaction, and doing so is going to massively help with this channel. Also, on a little bit of a side note, I'd be interested to know how many of you play other MMOs. So does anybody play World of Warcraft, Star Wars, The Old Republic, Final Fantasy 14? Are you PC players? Do you play on console? The reason for this is that I'm very likely going to be taking a step away from BDO, at least on the console side of things, in the near future. And I'll go into that in another video. But I'm just interested to see whether people will be interested in other content from other games, especially with things like the Warcraft expansion coming out this year. I am an avid Warcraft player. I've played since vanilla and since the open betas, so it's definitely something that I will be revisiting. But anyway, on to the purpose of this video today. Now I wanted to rush this one out for you because it has just come to light today. If you go to playblackdesert.com or console.playblackdesert.com, you'll see that on the main page, we now have the first half of 2020 roadmap. Now, we all know that I'm a partner of BDO, and I shouldn't necessarily talk bad about things, but ultimately, I'm not that excited about this. And the reason for it is there are a couple of things on here that console simply can't handle. Now, I am going to be covering this in another video. As I always do, I want to try and keep these videos as short as possible, but I will be going into detail on where BDO currently stands on console, and some of the issues that people are running into. So overall, I'm not massively excited about this. There are a couple of things on here that are interesting and quite nice. I mean, getting the Meiwa class is going to be interesting for some people that want to play Meiwa, but we already have Musa, and for most people, Musa's considered a better version of the Meiwa class. We do have Guardian. Now, Guardian being the new release class in Korea and on PC, I think it's due to release if it's not already released, is interesting that we will be getting this shortly. However, it is a shame and it is disappointing that we're not going to be getting this at the same time as PC like we did with the Shy. I know a lot of people were hedging their bets that was going to happen, but unfortunately, no such luck. But having Meiwa round out the class list and then having Guardian pop up is something that's interesting. The other thing to look at as well is the Olvia servers and the fact that we are going to be getting these in the near future. For those of you that aren't aware and have never played on PC, the Olvia servers are an increased experience server that are going to allow new players and people that are returning to the game the ability to catch up at a much more speedy rate. These aren't that great, unfortunately, because of the current things in game that allow us to already level quickly. With the lack of 500% experience scrolls, though, the Olvia servers are going to come in handy for people, and it's going to be interesting to see them in game. So that's Olvia servers. Now, Camisylvia renewal is interesting for Xbox players because they currently have the region. What this means, at least as far as I'm concerned, for PS4 players is that we're very unlikely to see Camisylvia until the renewal hits. And the reason being, it makes no sense for them to rush out Camisylvia and then rush out the renewal on top of that. However, they could prove me wrong. I'm not holding out my hopes again for this. We've been waiting for Camisylvia for a long time. We've been told some conflicting information based off performance issues, the fact that it broke Xbox when it was launched and there were issues there, and they're not being able to iron those out. Also, the fact that they didn't manage to actually hit their roadmaps for either console by the end of 2019 means that, yeah, it's a little bit pessimistic of me, but I don't see things going according to plan. Now, they are getting a little bit ambitious with things like tier 8 horses as well. So if you don't currently have a tier 7 horse, you won't be aware of this, but no matter if you have an SSD or not, you will still run into invisible walls on a tier 7 horse. Having tier 8 horses and then things like the Dream Horse is just not feasible on console. I don't see it happening unless they massively improve performance. And I don't see that happening without being able to take a hit on the graphic side of things. Something that the devs have proven time and time again that they are not willing to do. Simply reducing the lighting effects and some of the remastered things that have come across from PC would have helped with this, and it really shouldn't have been launched on console with the remastered lighting as one of the main things causing a lot of issues on the consoles. Savage Rifts, again, it's just another little bit of content. It's more fluff than anything. It's great to have it in the game because it takes us away from this whole feeling of we're actually playing a demo and not the full game, but ultimately it's not the things that people are clamoring for. Garmoth as well, so we're getting Garmoth but we're not getting Vel. That'll be interesting to see what happens there, but ultimately having Garmoth around is going to help with some of the gearing progression towards endgame and rounding out those final little bits of missing pieces with Garmoth's heart. Now we do have Margoria and we have Dragon. Now Dragon's been on the Xbox roadmap since about 4 months into release. They said that once they released the second half of their roadmap that Dragon was going to be coming by the end of 2019. I don't see that happening again anytime soon. With the Camasylvia renewal up there, I would more than likely see Camasylvia renewed before anything else. That then ties it in with PS4 and allows them to release Camasylvia for that console. And Margoria, which is a little bit of a strange one, considered that on one of the dev streams we were told that the sea content and Margoria in general just isn't going to be feasible for console because it can't handle it. So does that mean that there are some performance tweaks that they've got in mind that are going to massively overhaul the performance on console? Personally, I don't think so, and it wouldn't surprise me if a lot of this roadmap drops off towards the back end of 2020 when the PS5 and the Xbox, whatever the Xbox equivalent is, sorry, don't shoot me for not knowing that, but ultimately once the next gen consoles release, a lot of this content is going to be more feasible. Tier 8 horses, Margoria, Dragon, all of these things are going to be great on PS5, but they're ultimately not going to run on the PS4. Even on the Pro with an SSD, you're going to struggle with a lot of this content without massively impacting the performance of the game. They need to do something with the graphics, they need to do something to improve performance. The whole population is just getting massively driven away by this. But anyway, I digress from the point of this video. Again, that's going to be something that I will cover later on, and it is something that I'm editing up at the minute. So that's the roadmap now. I'm interested to see what a lot of you think about this. Are you excited for this roadmap? Do you even think a lot of this is going to happen before we see the next gen consoles? They have noted that this is the first half of 2020, so we're not looking at the first quarter, we are looking at the first half. That's 6 whole months of content right here. That means that effectively they could drag this out right until the 6-month period, which would take us up to summertime, and then they could say, whoops, we didn't manage to hit the roadmap, but don't worry guys, it's all going to be coming out in the second half of 2020 when the next gen consoles come out. Call me pessimistic, call me negative, but those are my thoughts and opinions on this. As I said, I'll be interested in knowing yours. If you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, leave any comments, any theories, anything that you want to put across in the comment section, and don't forget, please, please, please help me out with that thumbs up or thumbs down on the video. And as always, I'll catch you in the next one.